Beautiful Life
สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon and welcome to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. My name is อาจารย์เกษมพุทธเรืองศรี your host for the program. A Beautiful Life is a program broadcasted every Monday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Articles and information about life lessons or good phrases from the books or website will be presented in this program, together with the latest news from Rajamongkol University of Technology Pranakon for you to enjoy. Today we start with the article from China News Asia. The first one, they said a TikTok ban wouldn't end influencers' dream, but maybe it should. Young people looking to start careers online should be careful what they wish for. Say Erin Rowley for Bloomberg Opinion. Ellen Rowley reported from New York. All of the many kinds of TikToks users in the United States, the casual consumer, the follower of viral content, the obsessed fan. The most famous is probably the influencer. And all the kids these days hoping to become famous on social media could be just the lobbying force TikTok needs as it implores its user to call their representatives in Washington to fight a ban. It's their livelihood, after all, that are on the line. Of course, a ban of TikTok wouldn't kill the influencer dream. They could just pivot to a different platform, but it might be better for everyone if it did. Erin Rowley writes as someone who made a portion of her living as an influencer years before TikTok exists. Obviously, to Gen Z or Gen Z, certainly to Gen Alpha, she is just an old millennial waging her finger. Granted, she did just use the phrase kid these days, so this chart isn't entirely off base. What gives her pause about the TikTok lobbying campaign isn't the app itself. She doesn't use it, but rather the notion that a career as an influencer, whatever that means, is something to strive for. She knows the compromise that sometimes needs to be made as you mind your personal life for content and how hard it can be to draw boundary with online followers, with engage in parasocial relationships with you, allowing strangers to feel personally involved in your life, opening the door to potentially millions of people to comment on your life choices is a vulnerable act, especially since you cannot take back what you have already shared. Electing to be public about your romantic relationships, finance, mental health, family dynamics, and parenting style means allowing strangers to feel personally involved and affected by your choices. It can also lead to compromising your real life relationships for the sake of your online content and leveraging other people's lives and narrative without their explicit consents. One life lesson that's hard to fully embrace in your teens and 20s is just how much you will change with each passing decade. As your life unfolds, your interests, opinions, and value will evolve. That isn't to say your 33 years old self will dislike the person you were at 23, but that 33 years old will almost certainly cringe at some of what in the 23 years old journal. Now imagine that journal is a video and it's online for everyone to see in perpetually, and then think about what it would mean if your entire brand and business were built on the personality and opinions you had at 23. If you have made your career as an influencer, evolution can be a difficult process. It can be hard to pivot and have your audience grow with you. When Erin Rowley built a brand in her early 20s called Broke Millennial, the label was basically true. It no longer is. But thanks to social media profiles and series of books, that name is still tied to her work more than a decade later. Authenticity can be put to the test. It's difficult to stay connected to the almighty influencer North Star of authenticity if your life changes financially, socially, and emotionally because of your work. As your follower count rises and companies come knocking for brand partnerships, authenticity can be quickly put to the test. Many brand partnerships can be easy money in terms of workload, but they might require promoting a company or product to your followers that is not aligned with your values. Many promotional missteps can cause swift backlash among followers and costly both socially and financially. Then there is the issue of mental health. Burnout is common. The sudden lack of anonymity or even fame can be unnerving in a world in which everyone has a camera in their pockets. Being cancer is not so much a risk as an inevitability, as a seemingly small stumble can turn horde of people against you. Some influencers have been known to give it up to return to 9 to 5 world or at least move off social media and behind a paywall. Returning to the 9 to 5 world beyond the scrutiny of commenters on social media, there is the hard work of running your own business, the safety net of a regular paycheck and a job that allows you to mostly unplug when you leave the office can be appealing to someone who has been tethered to social media 24/7 for years. And not all influencers choose to pivot to a traditional job. Some have one forced upon them. Being an influencer, like many early careers, will probably only last for a short period of your working life. People lose caches as younger, shiner stars come along. Their content begins losing relevance with the demographic on the particular platform, or simply no longer gets boosted by the algorithm. Then the question becomes how or whether to retain influencer status when you return to the 9 to 5 world. The latter could be an issue if you have built a brand with which potential employers do not want to risk association. None of this is to say you should ditch all your dreams of becoming an influencer. It's simply a warning. If the life of an influencer is one to which you aspire, be judicious, be conservative about how much of your personal life you post online. Be considerate to the people you care about who do not want to be part of your platform. Be mindful of what your future self may think about the kinds of thing you decide to make public. And remember that being authentic doesn't mean sharing every nitty-gritty details. So you can read more about it from Bloomberg and China News Asia. Next, Chinese EV are putting a high-tech spin on China, made in China label in Southeast Asia. The rapid expansion of Chinese electric vehicles and related investment in Southeast Asia is no fluke, say Intelliseer Institute's Sir Rui Li reported from Guangdong. If electric vehicles or EVs are the future, Will it be China leading the way? Chinese company BYD dethroned Elon Musk's Tesla as the world's best-selling EV maker for the first time in the last quarter of 2023. China domestic market has already emerged as the largest EV cell market in the world, and Chinese EV are getting more popular among Southeast Asian consumers ac- accounting for about 75% of the EV market. BYD is the best-selling EV brand in Singapore and last year became the first Chinese brand to break into the country's app top 10 best-selling car brands. Chinese car comprise 80% of Thailand's EV sale in 2023 with BYD again, the bestseller accounting for 40% of EV sales. Sales of Wuling Air EV, a model owned by China SAIC Motor, surged by 65.2% in 2023, becoming the second most purchased brand in Indonesia. A survey shows that 66% of Indonesian vehicle consumers have positive views of Chinese EV because of their affordability, innovative features, mobility, and comfort. The popularity of Chinese EV in Southeast Asia seems to indicate that China is getting increasingly recognized for technology development and high-tech products, as opposed to the old impression that China is merely the world factory where made in China is seen as shorthand for cheap and low value added goods. China investment in Southeast Asia EV ambitions. Certainly, the rapid expansion of Chinese EV and EV related investment in Southeast Asian countries is no fluke. China's attention to the technology of new energy vehicles can be dated back to as early as the 1990s, but it was not until 2009 that the development of the EV industry was established as a national strategy. Since then, Chinese EV and EV related companies have significantly increased their presence in Southeast Asia. Besides localizing their production in the region, they are also actively participating in the advancement of the Asian country EV ambition and technology advancement. In Singapore, NEO is building an artificial intelligence and autonomous driving research and development center. Geely has committed to helping Malaysia energize its EV market with a 10 billion US dollar investment and develop a hub in Perak called Automotive High-Tech Valley with its Malaysian partner. The Valley's vision is far beyond EVs, but it is also eyeing next generation vehicles. In Thailand, Great Wall Motor or GWM has invested in two full production lines. SAIC Motor has promised to develop a new energy industry park which will enhance Thailand's position in the EV supply chain. BYD has announced that it will start making EV in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia in early as 2024, making contributions to those countries' goal to become EV manufacturing hubs. Chinese EV battery manufacturer Ningbo Contemporary Burn Legend has recently promised to invest to 420 million US dollar to support the development of Indonesia's EV ecosystem and enhance the country's dominance in the supply of nickel, one of the most important raw material for EV battery. A growth of soft power. Some might see the increasingly attraction of China as a growth of its soft power in Southeast Asia, but that remains to be seen. Several factors may determine how far China can capitalize on its EV attraction in the region and thus shape the Asian country behaviors. First, it may depend on whether Chinese EV and EV related manufacturers can still lead the market. The boom of China's EV industry is largely driven by the Chinese government's substantial supportive policies. With the government gradually reducing EV subsidies, it will depend on how Chinese companies adapt to the market while maintaining their advantage in price and R&D. Legacy car maker, especially those from Japan, were used to dominate the Asian automobile market, are also racing to catch up with new and affordable EVs. In addition, how China and Chinese firms can make critical technological breakthroughs, especially in semiconductors for EV, given the chips and chip making equipment export restrictions imposed by the United States may also play a role. Second, lessons tell us that Chinese investment can easily get caught in crossfire in the domestic policy of the countries where they set up to be made scapegoat and harshly criticized for political mileage. The United States' upcoming EV battery factories by China's Goshen High Tech in the states of Michigan and Illinois are seen as an economic blessing by their drama, uh, democratic governors, but described as a Trojan horse by Republicans. To what extent the Chinese government is willing for capable of using EV and EV related investment as an economic statecraft is also a question, and whether it will risk pushing Southeast Asian countries to take side amid the intensifying US-China rivalry, staying ahead of the pack at a time when climate change is an many national and global agenda. China could well revelate its EV dominance and other clean energy investment to win over partners. Many countries in the global south, especially Southeast Asian states, have adopted EV promotion policies and vowed to develop a greener society. Indeed, Chinese EV have been getting more and more attention abroad. Analysts estimate that Chinese outbound foreign direct investment in EV-related industry is likely to have set a new record high in 2023 and expect Chinese EV to double their global market share by 2030. However, to what extent China's EV boom will mean the growth of its soft power in Southeast Asia and even the world depends on how many China cope with three challenges: how it transform and optimize domestic EV policy, how it can make EV outbound investment, the consensus across governing and opposition parties in the hosting countries, and the last but not least, how China deals with the rapid internationalization of its EV company in the face of increasing geo geoeconomic and geopolitical competition with the West. Siri Lee has a PhD from the S. Racha, Rajaratnam School of International Study, Nanyang Technology University, Singapore, and is a research fellow in think tank Intelliseer Institute. So you can read more about this from Channel News Asia, and we'll be right back after a short break.
Beautiful life.
You are listening to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. We are back to the news. First, from Rajamongkol University of Technology, Pranakon organized a training course on essential oil extraction techniques for using as raw materials for developing cosmetic and healthcare products. Health, Cosmetic and Anti-Aging Technology Major or HCAT Faculty of Science and Technology, Rajamongkol University of Technology, Pranakon organized a training and practice project course in essential oil extraction techniques for cosmetics and healthcare with Assistant Professor Pennappa Suvarnabamrung, Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, preside over the opening of the project and welcomed the training participants on March the 2nd, 2024 at at the Faculty of Science and Technology, North Bangkok Center. The training course in essential oil extraction technique for cosmetic and healthcare is organized for those interested to gain knowledge about essential oils, extraction, and practical skills in extracting essential oils from medicinal plants or natural products with various solvents appropriate in order to efficiently use essential oils and extracts, hydrosols as raw materials for developing cosmetic and healthcare products. The training topics include essential oil and hydrosol extraction techniques. The speaker was Assistant Professor Dr. Boravit Jansuwan. The topic is nanotechnology development for formulating essential oils in cosmetic and other applications. The speaker was Dr. Warayut Sajom Sang, Senior Researcher, National Nanotechnology Center, and the topic of testing antioxidant activity. The speaker was Assistant Professor Dr. Sirirat Panit. In addition, the participants also practiced formulating shampoo products that also contains essential oils and hydrosols, which receive the attention of training participants from many sectors, both government and private sectors, students and entrepreneurs interested in production or developing product formulas from essential oils numbering of 25 people. However, the field of health technology, cosmetic and anti-aging, health, cosmetic and anti-aging technology, Faculty of Science and Technology aiming to produce graduates who are professionals and in health technology, cosmetic science and anti-aging are internationally accepted. Create graduates to be researcher developers of health and cosmetic products and innovations to meet the needs of both domestic and international labor markets. Enhance knowledge of modern marketing and entrepreneurship. Currently, new students are being recruited for the academic year 2024. The teaching course will be complete within 3.5 years. Interested person can ask for more information at telephone number 0283630000, extension number 4156 4159, or at https www.facebook.com HCATS CIRMUTP. That's all. And the time is up for today, A Beautiful Life. Please join us on every Monday here on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Your host has been Ajahn Kasem Puttaryongsi. You are welcome to subscribe to our channel on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Thank you very much for joining our program today and see you again next Monday. สวัสดีครับ
Beautiful Life will be back again next Monday.